Hey guys, welcome, welcome. Melissa Zoske here, your energy alignment business mentor. Oh my gosh, so I have been all over the place this last week looking at ancestral chains, and you guys have probably heard me talk many times about how we inherit more than hair and eye color from our ancestors, right? We inherit their beliefs, their traumas, all those emotions from lifetimes back. And so often it can wreak havoc on your business. So I wanted to make sure that you're really thinking about this and looking at your family patterns around what that looks like for you. It doesn't just go back to your parents, it goes back so much further. And I see people have that same pattern over and over again for lifetimes. So I want you to really think about what your grandparents went through, what your any ancestors you might have. Sometimes we have a really great history in writing that we can go back on and look. I mean, I look at my own parents, and like my mother, they grew up really poor, big family, going from orchard to orchard, living out of a car half the time, picking whatever fruit was growing at the time for money. And they didn't really have a stable place to live. And they always, just lived from paycheck to paycheck, sometimes worse than that. And so, when you grow up and you inherit, you see how your parents are acting now from that lack place. It can really make you subconsciously, even if you are doing great mindset work, even if you are working on self-growth, personal growth, and really making sure that you have it all dialed in. You think you do anyway, right? And that's the crazy part. Is it's not what you're consciously thinking. It's all in the subconscious. So I want you to really think about, look at the patterns in your life. Look at what your parents said, what they did, their actions. Sometimes people's actions don't align with their thought patterns, right? I mean, usually they will do things, but they're not really going back with what they're just trying to force that change. Oftentimes they'll say one thing and their actions are completely different. So what I've noticed the most is people's actions of what they're doing, especially with their business, are more in tune with what was actually going on in the subconscious, right? So they may say that they're in alignment, they're doing this, they're doing that, but then their actions are showing a lack mode, or they are in lack mode, or they're in a fear state. And I wanted to make sure that you were really paying attention to that. So thanks for joining. Wherever you are watching from, please post in the comments. I'd love to hear that. So the first thing in breaking the ancestral failed chain, I mean, how many of you feel like you have that chain? I mean, I know I did. And I still hear comments from family members. And I know it's just because of what they've learned. I know that their beliefs when people have beliefs, they try to have everybody else, they try to infuse it into other people's consciousness as well, because that makes them feel better about the beliefs that they have. And if you look at your family, I still get comments from my family, like I said, about what I do. I mean, I even had one person said, people pay for that crap. I mean, it was like, oh my gosh. I'm like, this is creating huge transformations in people. And it's like, and also one of the biggest things is, even when you have a gift, like a spiritual gift, and you're charging for that, oftentimes you'll get a lot of backlash from that. And it's crazy, because it's like, you still have to live. I mean, if you are offering a service and you're helping people transform their lives into something amazing, you still have to be able to make some money doing that, so that you have that livelihood to keep helping others. But there's that disconnect. It's like, if you have a gift, you shouldn't be charging for it. So that is a belief that probably goes back, like, ancestral. It probably goes back many generations. Okay, especially for people with any kind of spiritual gift. And I want to make sure that you are absolutely 100% on board with seeing that today. All right. So the ancestral fail chain. So the first thing I want you to think about right now is, I want you to decide that you are really ready to create a successful business. You have to have that decision made. You can't move forward with any kind of business, let alone spiritual business, without deciding. right? And a lot of you think, well, I have decided I'm doing this. That's what I'm doing. But it really goes so much deeper than that. You have to really be able to decide that you are all in, that you are committed to creating this amazing business, that you are committed, that you've decided now and you are committed to following through and taking the strategic action steps that are all aligned with who you are and how you feel, okay? So anybody can have a business, but any business that you have that's not making some sort of money, that's not bringing in some kind of income, that's more of a hobby, right? A business is something that you are creating to actually make income from. There's an exchange of energy there. And then there's the hobby that you're doing just kind of as maybe you're not making any money off of it. Maybe you are just deciding you want to help some family and friends. It's just something you're doing. It's a gift that you're using, but it's not a business. So there's that first disconnect that I see a lot with people, is that they say they have a business, but they really don't, because they're not even barely covering their overhead or cost. So there's not that exchange of energy. So hope you guys can hear me okay. I probably didn't check this in the beginning. Let me go back and check on this and see if it's on okay. Going into my Shining Mentor Successful Entrepreneurs group. Ooh, am I not seeing it on there? Yep, it's on. Good. I hope that you can hear me okay. Sometimes I get on here and there's a weird malfunction with the there's a weird malfunction and people can't hear. So I'm assuming that you can hear, unless you want to post something in the comments like, we can't hear you. I've talked on for like 10 minutes before and nobody could hear me. So anyway, it's okay to have a hobby and not actually turn your passion into a business. It's totally 100% okay. I mean, I do that with a lot of things. I love photography. I love knitting. I create some amazing art pieces, and those are just hobbies. And I mean, not just, they really fulfill a deep need within me that I love. And that really helps keep my energy love tank full. Okay. And so, and that's totally okay. You don't have to make everything a business. But when you are creating a business, you are working toward creating some sustainability, some way to create more freedom for yourself and security, right? That's what creating it making it into a business is. And you are fulfilling that need to do something for others, to serve others and help them from that deep soul part of you. Okay. So, I see so many people online offering services off and on. Like, they come and go. You see them 1 minute, you don't see them for 2 months, and then you see them again. They aren't committed to putting themselves out there. And that's somebody that's a true entrepreneur. That's really having a business and deciding that you have a business, is that consistency. And whenever you are finding yourself not being consistent, that's when that's where we want to dig deeper and see, where is this taking us? What's this coming from? Why, if I feel this huge, like, soul pulling to do this work, why am I not stepping up and out there? What's keeping me from that? And that's where the ancestral chains come in place. Okay. So many of these people stay stuck for years, and they kind of come in and out of that cycle of being seen for a week, and then all of a sudden they disappear. Then they're seen again after a month, and then they disappear again. And they may get a client here or there that they work with, but really they're not getting that credibility because they don't have any credibility. They're not really consistent. You have to have that like, know, trust factor, and that know factor is you being seen. That trust factor is that you aren't just going to be a fly-by-night person that disappears. All right? Like, know, trust. And that's all part of being in a business and having a successful, secure, sustainable, and scalable business. Because you can't keep charging today what you were charging 10 years ago. You can't keep comparing yourself to others. Those are all part of the ancestral chains as well. So a certain level of success has to happen to have a sustainable business. It's just the way it is. So this helps you avoid burnout and overwhelm. If you are consistent, you get this rolling like every week at 10 o'clock. Today I was a couple minutes late, but every week at 10 o'clock on Mondays, or I'm sorry, 12 o'clock Eastern time, I'm here doing my energy update, my the energy of business inner circle. And sometimes you can be, a little late, or maybe you didn't have it planned out as you planned, but you still show up. And that shows that you're being consistent. And once you start that process, it really starts to help break that previous chain, break that pattern of disappearing or not showing up or not having that credibility. And when you get that rolling and that you're feeling like, you are being seen, you're getting clients, you're actually charging for your services, and you're actually creating that income flow that you want, it helps prevent that overwhelm and burnout feeling that you've probably been cycling in with this for years. I see this happen all the time. So it helps you when you are consistent, you are really putting yourself out there. It helps you to attract your soulmate clients. If you were in the challenge last week or the previous week, you probably heard me talk about attracting your ideal clients, putting that energy out there, that energy net to call in your ideal people. They can't see you if you're not being consistent, if you're not getting out there. I think they say that 7% of whatever you put out there is seen, and that you have to have 12 touch points, which means they have to see you a total of 12 times or more before they even really see you. You know how you're scrolling through the feed and you kind of scroll and you skip over things? You have to be out there 12 times for them to even be able to really acknowledge you. So that's something to think about. And that's also something that you need to really be aware of when you're helping others transform, right? If they're not seeing you, they're not going to get the help they need. So that is a big deal. And so the ancestral chains with this, with the being seen, oftentimes comes from maybe you had 3 generations back, mother's side, something bad happened because of somebody putting themselves out there and being seen, maybe they were ridiculed, maybe they had spiritual gifts. Maybe they were totally, we have had people burned at the stake, right? We've had people burned in hundreds of years ago for being thought of as being witches. I mean, people have these gifts, different things, and they're misunderstood. And so you could go back generations for, I don't want to be seen because this can happen, because it's in your subconscious that something bad is going to happen. All right. And so I want you to really be thinking about that, aware of it. It's not in your conscious. You're not going to be like, oh, if I put myself out there, I might be burned. It's just no, it's just it's in your subconscious. And so you working through using some kind of energy method, like my quantum key method, I'll post that in the links for you to be able to grab that for free as well. Helps you start to clear out those generational blocks that are keeping you from moving forward, that are keeping you stuck, keeping you from claiming having a business because of that one fear. All right. So ancestral beliefs and patterns are a big deal. They can keep you 100% from moving forward. And looking at your family stories could be a really good start. If you have family stories that keep coming up over and over again, just little things that are said, looking for making money is hard work. How many of you have heard that? That is something that probably didn't just start with your parents. It probably started generations back again. You might have had migrant ancestors that moved over here and they had nothing and they had to work so hard. And so that belief was so ingrained into every cell of their body that they have to sweat blood and tears in order to make an income. So today you might be doing a meditation business, or you might be offering coaching that you get on a call once a day or once a week to do group coaching or whatever. And it feels good and you love it. And then something kicks back and says, wait a minute, this is not feeling hard. So this is not good. So you sabotage yourself. That happens all the time. So looking at your family stories that are coming up over and over again around money, around beliefs, that you might see even yourself repeating. I really want you to dig deep and think about that this week. I want you to really set your intention for seeing whatever patterns, beliefs, programmings, emotions that come up when you think about like putting yourself out there in your business, when you think about investing in yourself in your business, when you think about reaching out to others about networking or collaboration, what fears come up? Oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, they're going to think I don't have enough going on right now. Everybody starts somewhere. And when you are really called to share your gifts, you need to break those chains. Some of them are women aren't supposed to earn the money. What if you earn more than your husband? I mean, think about that. And I know a lot of you are like, well, I'll retire my husband. I hear that all the time. I'm going to retire my husband. Really, in the subconscious, there's something around you shouldn't be making more than your husband. So you never really earn more because of that chain. Or maybe there's a fear that it will change the dynamics in the relationship. Anything can come up. It's all game. I want you to just really pay attention to that. So look for any of those patterns that maybe you've inherited from your ancestors or you've inherited from your parents. You can create new patterns, obviously, in this life as well. But most of the time I see that this is a repeat pattern. It's a repeat pattern of being chained to the past. Okay? So maybe you have that again, that using spiritual gifts, that you shouldn't charge for your spiritual gifts. We see that all the time. Like, you're not supposed to have a good living. But I want to remind you that if you want to help more people, you have to be able to hire help. And then think about that. Every bit of money that you spend is blessing someone else. All right? So you're blessing someone else with all of the money that you're investing in yourself. You're helping yourself grow so that you can see more of your soulmate clients out there. They're out there waiting for you. If you're not able to be out there and be seen and spend that time because you have to get another job on the side to actually earn money, to actually be able to give your gifts, you're going to get drained. That overwhelm really will get you. And just the overall feeling of stress from that, not having enough income coming in to support yourself or your children, your family, that creates that even more stress, which creates it even more difficult for you to step out there. You get in that frozen mode. You're in that freeze mode. Remember, there's fight, flight, or freeze. And when that overwhelm hits, you retreat and you hide for a couple of weeks. You find yourself fatigued. You're physically tired and unable to move forward. So that's where it's really important to do this work. Okay. So I would like you to look for those stories, those ancestral stories. If you don't have access to your parents to kind of give you a better, I mean, like for me, just knowing that my mom lived in a car and they picked the fields and they had to move to a new state. They had to change schools over and over again. If they went to school, I mean, many of them dropped out early to help more. That was a repeat pattern. And when I was growing up, I found that same pattern was there. I mean, I wore hand-me-downs. I wore these, what they called high waters, where now they're cool, but it's like I was wearing like these hand-me-downs that were so high that I was made fun of. They were way above my ankle. And I didn't look right. I didn't fit in. And that hurt. But it was like the way my family thought. They just thought that was normal. That was okay. And it's not okay. And so when I wanted to be different, I was considered the black sheep of the family. I wanted to break those chains. I was the catalyst for that change. I wanted to have a comfortable life. I wanted to have more than a comfortable life. I wanted to have a life where I could help my children more. I could be more support for other people. I could donate more. I could offer my services to free for people that couldn't afford it. I wanted to be able to make a difference. And part of that was having a wealthy mindset. And so once I started breaking that chains, all sorts of things started coming up. We call those upper limit blocks. When you start working through these things, especially if you don't know what you're looking for and you don't clear them out immediately, they may come to the surface. And if you haven't cleared them out, they can cause problems. And so you see yourself like, I used to buy things and I would leave the tags on them in my closet forever. How many of you are guilty of buying things and leaving the tags on? And I would just put it on and wear it around the house thinking, I might take this back because I'm not worthy of this. I remember this first really cool coat I got that had rabbit fur around the top. And it was like so special. And I was like, I didn't wear it for 3 months because that thought in my mind was that keeping that price tag on it and not wearing it, there obviously was some worthiness issues. This was too good for me. And that happened repeatedly over and over again. Also buying things and then trickling them out over a period of time. My mom used to do that. Like you'd buy something or you would just like, you just wouldn't own it. Or you would always shop. I remember when I was a kid that even when they had the money to buy things, they would always go to Goodwill or Salvation Army. They would never buy something new because they said, you don't need it. To me, that's saying you feel like you're not worthy of it. And when you're not worthy of those things, you're saying you're not worthy of success. You're not worthy of clients. And if you're not worthy, how can you help anybody else? How are you worthy to help anybody else? How are you worthy to share your gifts with other people? Do you see where I'm going here? It's all about those ancestral ties and looking at those little nuggets, And I'd always find, I remember a comment like, it's never good enough for you. Nothing's ever good enough for you, because I always wanted more. And because we had so little, and I knew that I could make more of my life. And so I just kept putting myself out there, trying to get that going, trying to move forward. And I think I wanted to break that chain. And I'm the only one in my family who did. And it's all around your self-worth, your self-value, and it goes back generations. The people that lived in the Depression, how much that affected them, right? That Depression era, I have grandparents that still dug in dumpsters, 40 years later after the Depression, when they had plenty of money and they had a full stock of canned goods in their cellar, they would still go and look in the dumpsters. And I remember thinking, this is so sad. I was very young, but I remember thinking, this is so sad. How could these people still be doing this pattern, living this pattern? It sucks your freedom away. It sucks the life force out of you. And so did I experience that? No, but it still was in my cells, still was in there, replaying 24/7, broadcasting out that lack mentality, those ancestral chains of lack that I needed to break. And when you'll find when you are the catalyst, when you are the person that is going to finally break those chains, you will find that you are shamed, that they look at you as greedy. I mean, all sorts of stuff come up, and then you question yourself again. So you're like going deeper. It's like new level, new devil. So you're like going in, going, wait a minute, is this really something that I shouldn't be doing? So you go back again and you look deeper and you find more layers. And that's why having somebody outside of yourself is always beneficial. That's why I mentor I have mentees or members of my program that we work through this as they come up every week. And we're working through those blocks as they're taking the steps forward in their business and creating that sustainable business model that helps them have this lifestyle they really want. And not everybody's the same. Not everybody's lifestyle is the same, right? But we all have whatever your needs are. That's what we do, is what those new things are going to come up every single week. They just do. And every time you up level to a new level, 100K, 200K, 300K, new things surface, new worthiness, new lack, new things that were hidden deeper, deeper, deeper than you could have ever imagined come forward. So I really want you to think about whether you are going to be deciding to start that journey of clearing out those chains so that you can be the catalyst for change, not only in the past, you're clearing that for your ancestors, but you're also clearing that for your children. Think about that. What kind of gift would that be if the one thing that you did in your life was clear those chains for your children so they didn't go through the pain that you went through? And they were free to do whatever they chose to do, right? So the first thing is you need to decide whether you'll be really committed to helping others, really committed to stepping up and out and being seen, or whether you're going to stay in the same cycle. It's so easy. All you need to do is to decide, and to commit and say, I'm in. I'm doing this. I'm going to make this change. I'm going to invest in myself the time, the energy, and the resources to really step up and out. Or you can step back and you can decide that you're just going to help people as a hobby, which is fine. That's fine too. But if you are really in this to make some huge transformation and changes, something has got to give. And that's what I'm here to help you do. So I'm going to pull a couple cards here and see. So if you're watching the replay on this, just focus on what it is that you're supposed to see for your action this week in your business. All right? Just take a nice deep breath and close your eyes. And focus on what card should be for you. We're all connected. Okay? So today, I love this one. It's all about journaling. Whoops, let's see here. Journal. So keep a journal. So this one's saying keep a journal of your business. Write down all your dreams, desires, and goals. Paint a picture of the lifestyle you want and review it daily. So this is something that I love doing because oftentimes, especially if you're thinking about taking your business to another level, right? Journaling will help you see what it is that you really want. And it'll also, when you write down your fears, what's coming up, why am I not moving forward today? And you start writing that down, that will help you really start to dial in what it is from your ancestral chains that are keeping you from moving forward. This is held in your DNA, all those things from your ancestors. Remember, you inherit more than hair and eye color from them. You inherit their beliefs, right? Their traumas, their patterns. Just because you inherited them doesn't mean that they're going to stick and create the life that you don't want. You don't have to be on autopilot. You can be consciously creating your world. And part of that is by digging deep, journaling it out, seeing what it is in your business that you want to create and why isn't it happening? Whether it's you're not investing in yourself, you don't believe that a lot of times people don't invest in themselves. This is something I was thinking about earlier, and I'm going to do a whole nother talk on this. But a lot of times people don't invest in themselves because they don't believe that they will follow through. Either that or they don't believe in themselves and their ability to make that transformation in others. Or they don't believe they're worthy. Whatever that is for you, journaling about it will help. Let's draw one more card. One more on what you should be doing with your business this week. It's all connected, guys. When you start working on this, when you work on one thing, you work on everything. It's all connected. Because if you change that belief, I'm not good enough, right? I've talked about this before. You're not good enough. That means your cells are hearing I'm not good enough. They're not going to detox. They're not going to process things. They're not going to digest well. Your liver doesn't function properly just from that one belief, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough sends out that broadcast to people saying, hey, you're not good enough. So I'm going to treat you like you're not good enough. So you attract bad relationships. The other thing is I'm not good enough means you're not good enough to have good business, right? You're not attracting the people into your life, the right clients, because every time they come in front of you, they don't think that you can help them because you're not good enough. Does that all come together for you there? Those are the kind of things I want to see changed in you. That is my mission. That is my passion, for you to change those ties, change the ancestral drama, patterns, programmings. Let them go. Change them in yourself and for your kids. This is where it all starts. Okay, one more card. Okay, this one is build. It's all about design. So build a simple and elegant website that attracts buyers who love and engage you with your brand. Okay, I'm going to skip over the design part. I believe that design is basically whatever way you're putting yourself out there in your branding. It doesn't have to be a website. I'm not a huge proponent of spending a lot of time on a website. But it's how you put yourself out there. What kind of feel are you trying to have? What kind of brand? And when I say brand, it's not the colors as much as who you are. Like, you are your brand. Okay, so what you're putting out there, how you send your message, how you're heard and seen, that is all part of how you design yourself. You're already part of this. It's just putting it out there. You are your brand. Okay. So guys, journal today and let me know what comes up. I want to hear in the comments below what you think might be something that has tied you back from your success, tied you back from building a successful business, tied you back from spreading your gifts and your message to the world. All right. Post them in the comments. I want to hear them. All right, we'll see you next Monday, and probably later this week I'll do some kind of intuition hit for you guys, so stay tuned. Probably I'll try to give you more of a heads up. Every Monday, though, we have this call at 10 o'clock, or I'm sorry, 12 o'clock Eastern time. I'm in Mountain Time. So 12 o'clock Eastern time. And sometimes we'll go through an energy clearing. Sometimes it's tidbits of energy to what to look for to clear out in yourself. If you want to get my quantum key method, it's melissazoske.com/QKM, quantum key method. You can get that for free to help you start to clear out. It's just a tutorial on how to clear out those ancestral beliefs and traumas and patterns so that you can start being free to live on your terms. Share your gifts the way you want to share them. Let go of the shame and the guilt. Make some money. Be able to have some security and freedom. All right? You guys have a great rest of the day. Take care. Bye.